This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
You know, some people say that Odoo business management software is like fertilizer, the way it promotes growth and all. But other people say Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable. And there's some people who would even say Odoo's individual software programs come together to build the perfect suite like building blocks. Well, Odoo is all of these things. Fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. So sign up now at odoo.com. ODOO.com.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on what your kids are spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely. And parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/iHeart.
Fan.
Head over to our contest page and enter for your shot to win a Fandango voucher good for 2 tickets to see Marvel's Thunderbolts in theaters May 2nd. Plus, one grand prize winner will also win a $200 Visa gift card. Enter today at KFAN.com, keyword contest.
I got to turn my microphone on to talk. Couple 13-14 past here on the Common Man program. So I'm looking at a ESPN gamer regarding the Lakers-Wolves game, and we're talking about the Lakers being caught off guard by the Wolves. Here's what Lakers coach J.J. Redick said. He goes, "It's not to say our guys weren't ready to withstand a playoff-level basketball game. I'm not sure physically we were ready. And really when the Wolves started playing with a lot of thrust and physicality, we just didn't respond to meet that." Lakers guard Austin Reeves said, "I think that they just physically beat us from the get-go." And I don't know what they expected from the Wolves. I don't know why they wouldn't. And then, you know, here's the other thing that you have to help me with, Tenneby. If you have the opening tap game going on and you see early on the other teams being really physical, right? They're beating you to the loose balls or getting to the boards or banging you. Well, then don't you go in the first time out, you go, hey, we got to pick up our physicality here because they're coming at us physical. Do you just keep going, well, no, that was a mirage. I don't really think that's what they're going to do. I don't know how you don't respond. Why does it take time to respond to that? Do you have an explanation?
Well, I don't know, but there was a in-game interview with Redick where and I don't know enough about basketball to know whether he's just throwing his team under the bus or if he's just trying to not take any blame to himself. He's like, oh, there's nothing from a strategy standpoint or X's and O standpoint. You know, everything we just need to get better, you know, execution-wise. And he might be accurate with that. But I just thought it was funny that he was placing blame elsewhere and letting it be known nothing from a coaching standpoint is why we're losing.
Right. Well, even it was funny. They on the TNT panel show last night, they were talking about, there was the nightcap last night, Golden State at Houston, right? And at first they gave, because I guess they've had this debate before, and at first Shaq and Kenny the Jet were kind of teasing Barkley, but then they admitted that he was right. And what Chuck was saying during the game was, after the game was, he goes, coaching doesn't make a guy go 3 for 15. Coaching doesn't matter. And they were trying to make him sound like he was saying coaching doesn't matter. And of course, coaching does matter. But once the game's playing, if you have guys, and is it Van Vliet for Houston? He couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, as the old cliche goes. He was awful all night. I don't think he hit a 3-pointer till, I think he was 0 for 10, 0 for 11 before he finally hit a 3-pointer. Well, that ain't coaching. Coach can't shoot the ball for you. So coaching certainly does matter. Adjustments you make in the game, the way you approach things, your rotations, where, the players you insert at specific times. But there's just no way if you don't shoot, you're not going to win a lot of ball games. That's what happened there. Even LeBron talked about the physicality and how they weren't prepared for it. It says James, who has played in the most playoff games in NBA history, chalked it up as a costly entry fee for his team to know what to expect in the series. He said, maybe it took us one playoff game to now get a feel for it and know what type of intensity, the type of physicality is going to be brought to the game. But that's just the way they play, so we should be more prepared for that on Tuesday night. And I'm still surprised that they weren't expecting that from the Timberwolves. And maybe it was that quick start they got off to. They thought, the Wolves are just going to lay down for us. Maybe they started to believe that. Didn't we have the story where there were 10 ESPN basketball experts, or the people that, cover basketball for ESPN? All 10 picked the Lakers to win the series. All 10. Maybe you start believing that kind of a thing, and you do start thinking. And the Doncic character, it was vintage Doncic in the game with his, he scored 37 points. He does it the way he does, where he'll either take it to the basket. If he doesn't get it, he'll get a foul call. And sometimes he'll make the basket and get the foul call, and he can shoot from outside as well. He's that talented. And it looked early on, and you just can't generally go by a quick start. Because even Houston last night got off to I think it was close to a double-digit lead against Golden State early in the game, and those generally don't hold very often. A team's going to, the game is made up of runs, so you're going to get one team running back at another one. But can I say something controversial? Yes, sure, go ahead.
Because going into the series, obviously, I think a lot of Timberwolves fans, you're right. You remember how Luka just ran over us last year. Mm-hmm. And the concern going into the series in first half of the first quarter, right? He looks like the Luka from last year. And you're thinking, oh boy, here we go again. You've always had the theory of you want to stop a guy like Luka, deny him the ball.
Yes.
I am wondering after watching game one, if actually the right play is let Luka have the ball. And what I'm trying to say is, quite often when teams have really good players like an Anthony Edwards or Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan, first quarter, they're not, they don't take over till the fourth quarter. Like first quarter, they get all their teammates involved. And I do wonder if in the game for the Lakers, because Luka was not getting teammates involved early. He was great. He was brilliant, but was not including teammates. They weren't letting Reeves get open looks, right? LeBron wasn't controlling the ball in any way, shape, or form. And by the time once Luka went to sit on the bench, you just had 5 Lakers that had been shut out the entire game. And that's when the Wolves took over the game. Luka sat down. And then when Luka got back, the snowball had already gone down the hill and it had gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. And it seemed like Luka's teammates, and then even, Luka just couldn't duplicate what he was doing earlier because now the offense all disjointed. When you're just going through one guy early on, you're not getting everyone else in the flow and the rhythm. And that's exactly what Anthony Edwards did. Anthony Edwards could have put up 40 in that game, but he didn't. He got all his teammates involved. He made the right open pass when it needed to be made, and they were hitting it. And the Wolves had better depth and were a better team.
Here's a quote from Edwards that says, just tried to be as physical as possible. The main thing for us was we didn't want them to get into the bonus early because you see a couple of free throws go in, Luka gets into a rhythm, and Braun gets into a rhythm. And I think you bring up a good point where, if one guy's basically the whole center of the universe for your club, that could present problems. Vandy used to play for us, right?
Yes.
Plays for the Lakers now. Here's what he had some success in that game, by the way. He didn't play too terribly bad. And here's what he said approaching game 2. He says, I think we got to be the aggressor. I feel like they hit us first, and they were the more physical team for the majority of the game. It's the playoffs, man. We got to play hard. I think they were beating us to all the 50-50 balls and offensive rebounds, the loose balls, just everything. Just everything. They were winning that battle. And I think in the playoffs, the tougher team that wins the battle wins the game. You got to be rough. You got to be tough. You got to be hard. You got to be stronger, right? Isn't that Desiree?
Yes.
Is that her name? That's what she says.
You got to be cool. You got to be calm. You got to stay together.
If you're a Los Angeles sports talk show and you're putting a montage together, that's what you should use. That's what you have to do. Just everything they were winning that battle. And I think in the playoffs, the tougher team that wins the battle wins the game. And now the Lakers say they know what to expect with only 2 days off. This time before tipping off on Tuesday. Here's what Luka said. My name is Luka. No. He said, it was a great atmosphere. I'm sorry we couldn't get the win, the first win. But it's always the first to 4. What do you think, Tenna? Do you think I think maybe when I picked the Wolves at 7, I think I was being too glass half empty guy with this club. I know it can change in a hurry.
Yep.
Matter of fact, I wouldn't be shocked if the Lakers win game 2. I think I might be a bit surprised. Maybe Bronny's starting to show his age a little bit. And I think Rosen might be right. I can't believe I'm saying that. This team does seem to be, they're deep. We knew that. But I mean, the Lakers just at least I don't know if they can respond. I don't know if they can. I mean, Naz Reid was the best guy on the floor pretty much, right?
And he's coming off our bench.
And he's coming off the bench. So
DiVincenzo wasn't scared of the moment.
No, it's
Conley is Conley.
It's really good. I know they can't.
They had a little bit of moment there where then Finch get a technical and Julius Randle got a technical. I was like, man, you guys are playing such a great game, and like you've got quite an extended lead here. Don't let the emotions of the game derail you. And I thought for a second there they might fall apart, but
no, yeah.
I still worry about their emotional maturity at times.
Here's what I'll tell you though. One of the golden rules of any sport is to never look ahead, right? But we don't play for either team. So we have the luxury of being able to look ahead. And I think the Golden State Timberwolves series is going to be spectacular. It's going to be really, really good. And I look forward to that.
Who do you put on Butler? Should we just start previewing it now? Randall?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe you do.
Or no, excuse me, Jaden McDaniels.
Maybe you put Jaden McDaniels on him. Do you just let Steph get his points? You should have saw him last night. Here's what happened last night, too. He missed like his first 3 or 4 3-pointers. So then he started just take it to the basket. And he's underrated going to the basket.
Crafty.
I mean, he's doing these. He had one where he got a feed, I think, from Butler, and he had one of the dope-de-dopes in front of him for Houston, and he spun the ball off his fingertips, and it hit almost the very top of the backboard, and then dropped straight down through the cylinder. It was just simply spectacular. So it should be good. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Tennebee's got bonus bucks.
Yeah, the fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Enter the keyword BILLS at KFAN.com now for your shot at winning. The keyword is BILLS. Enter now, KFAN.com.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, everybody. So when you get asked, what is Odoo, what comes to mind? Well, I'll tell you, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a suite of business management software that some people say is like fertilizer because of the way it promotes growth. But, some people also say that Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable.
Ooh. But then again, you could look at Odoo in terms of how its individual software programs are a lot like building blocks. Whatever your business needs, manufacturing, accounting, HR programs, you can build a custom software suite that's perfect for your company. So what is Odoo? Well, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. Yeah, that's it.
Which means that Odoo is exactly what every business needs. Learn more and sign up now at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Hi, I'm Cindy Crawford, and I'm the founder of Meaningful Beauty. When Dr. Sabah and I decided to do a skincare line together, he said to me, we are going to give women meaningful beauty. And I said, that's exactly right. We want to give women meaningful beauty, which means each and every product is meaningful. It has a reason to exist. It's efficacious. You're going to get results. And then you just go out and live your life.
Meaningful Beauty. Confidence is beautiful. Learn more at meaningfulbeauty.com.
Come on, why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity with Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance that keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com. Lenovo. Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
Treasure Island is your ticket to the playoffs. Head to the island this Tuesday for the official Minnesota Timberwolves and Minnesota Wild Game 2 watch parties. You can win a trip to see the Wolves play the Lakers in Los Angeles or the Wild play the Golden Knights in Las Vegas. Learn more at TICasino.com.
Think about it. 1 minute in the training camp, Ant knew that they were ready to gel. 1 minute in. It's all it took. Matter of fact, there was just enough time to basically introduce yourself. Right? Hey, I'm Anthony Edwards. They call me Ant. Hey, I'm Dante DiVincenzo, but some people call me DiVincenzo, or Mark Rosen does. Hey, pleasure to meet you. And your name is? I'm Julius Randle. It's a pleasure to meet you. Then boom, they were gelling. Like Magellan. So, and they gelled the other night, boy. That was a, look, I thought it might take 7. That's why I picked the Wolves in 7. But I never saw that coming. That took me by surprise. I thought the Lakers would put up a better fight. And we'll see if they're, they had all the answers after the game, right? Oh, it was just their physicality. We weren't ready for it. Luka, oh, you know what? It's the first to 4, not to 1. Okay, that sounds good. And it's true, it is the first to 4, right? The first game does not mean, the Wolves don't have home court advantage. They've picked the Lakers' pocket of home court advantage. But it is a best-of-7 series. We'll see if they were able to match that physicality. I got to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know much about the Lakers roster other than what I saw last night or 2 nights ago on Saturday night. So I'm not going to pretend to know what the pros and the cons of all these other players are. We know what Doncic, I think we all know LeBron and Doncic. You don't even have to watch much basketball to know what their strengths and weaknesses, and they have more strengths than they do have weaknesses. The other guys, do they have the capability to be more physical and do it in a way which you're not just taking cheap shots, but you can bump and grind, and you can play a physical style of basketball and still play quality basketball. I don't know if all teams can do that. The Wolves certainly can. They did the other night. Now, maybe they do get some pushback and we have a different kind of game. I also wouldn't expect, and I don't want to get hit with the negatometer here, I don't think we're going to go 21 from 42 from three-point range. I don't think, you know what? We might go 42 of 42 the way we were shooting. It's going to be difficult to match that. It seemed like...
It might be difficult to match that, but in terms of the offense getting good looks, I could see that continuing throughout the series. I don't think the Lakers are a great defensive team.
Well, if you're a Lakers fan, I would hope not. I mean, I don't even think that had to do with not being a good defensive team. It didn't even look like it seemed like almost every three-pointer was wide open. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, you don't even have to be a great defensive player to occasionally get in somebody's face. I mean, it's what a pro wants, what a pro needs. Did you see they did it? They are doing another commercial now with. Yeah, they're not doing what a pro needs. I don't even know what the product's for. It's Holmgren and 2 other guys, and they're wearing some really wacky looking kind of an outfit, to some, not to a game, but it's like to some social event or something. And they're all wearing the exact same thing, and the whole bit is, hey, I thought I called you and told you that's what I was going to wear. But it's what a pro wants and what a pro needs. So. They didn't even seem like they were even interested in trying to play defense at all, and maybe they are a bad defensive team. I don't know. Maybe they're. But you've heard me say this before, and I think you tend to agree with me. While there are certain techniques that you can employ when you're playing defense that make you a better defensive player, I think defense mostly is just effort. Right? It's just like getting a guy's face. Don't allow him to stand. The Wolves were just jacking up threes like it was shoot around. And that was wonderful for us, and I hope it happens again. I hope you're right. I hope it has nothing to do.
They also seem to pick up the tempo a little bit more, so I wonder if they surprised LA a little bit with the pace they played at.
They may have. They may have. Here's a text. Did I get blocked for pointing out that Tenneby was on awful announcing? Brian.
I was?
Yeah, I didn't. Well, he'd sent me an email, and I didn't know if you were, but apparently you were on awful announcing.
For what?
Who did you rip? Oh, you ripped somebody for saying. Did you rip somebody for saying that LeBron isn't a complainer? Or wasn't that you?
Oh, no. No, it was. Who was the analyst for ESPN Saturday night?
Oh, that's
Jay Billis.
Yeah,
he said it.
Yeah,
and. I mean, it's the most nominated preposterous statement we've ever received at the committee.
Did you talk to the committee?
The committee's aware.
The committee is aware, okay.
Yes.
Well, how did you get on awful announcing?
I have no idea. I don't know what they're talking about. And frankly, if I was on an awful announcing, I think I would have been made aware of it.
Well, someone said you were on awful announcing. Maybe we can research it and see if you can find it. But, to me, so much of defense is really just putting forth the effort. I mean, I'll give you an explanation. I'll give you an example. This was back in the Culture Vulture days. And I've told you about PA's lack of defense, right? In the pickup basketball games where I got him going, where he would play really hard on the offensive end of the floor. Then when our team, I was on the opposite team, we would get the ball and go down. We'd look back and it's 5-on-4. PA's bent over inside the paint with his hands on his knees, breathing hard because I think he was smoking heaters at the time. So I said, hey, guys, it's 5 against 4. It's 5 against 4. And then he got mad at me. And then he was swarming me the entire time, right? I mean, he just wouldn't. He was like, He was in my jock strap, right? It was the same thing. Dubé was on the other team, and he could shoot the ball when he was left wide open. The first game, he's just knocking them down. Boom, boom, boom. And I looked at our team. I said, I got Dubé. Okay? I'm not a very good basketball player. Offensively, I don't even have the right shooting for him. I can't. I could probably make 2 out of 10 free throws. I'm pretty good at passing the ball, and it's better if I pass rather than shoot, right? But all you do is, you either deny your opponent the ball, which that's how Sam Mitchell shut down Dirk Nowitzki. He said so on this very radio station. You know how did you shut him down? Chaddenborough asked Sam Mitchell when he shut Nowitzki down. He said, I just denied him the ball. Or you get in their face and don't allow them to shoot. And after Jeff probably went, 8 for 10, 7 for 10 in the first game, he went like 0 for 12 in the second game. Didn't make a basket because all he did was get in his face. Just get in the guy's face. It's all you have to do. And L.A. wasn't interested in doing that at all. Go look at the film. Check it. It was unbelievable. And I love it. If that's the way you want to play. I think they really thought they could just go in there, and Doncic was just going to be, he was going to just beat him like
climb on my back.
Yeah, like he did last year with Dallas when he almost single-handedly, and it wasn't single-handedly, but sure seemed that way. Knocked the Wolves out of the Western Conference Finals 4-1. You want to play that way again? Go ahead, bring it. And I don't even know if they play any harder on defense, if it would make a difference. We'll see. Because my guess is they're making a concerted effort here on Sunday, Monday to say, you know what?
Sense of urgency.
Yeah, let's go, guys. Come on. Yeah. I mean, what was that? That was embarrassing. We let a good quality Wolves team. They're a good quality, and they might be better. You know when I told you about how they said on the ESPN telecast of the Wild game last night, where between the first and second periods, the analyst said this team might have been they're misseeded, underseeded. They're when they've got Joel Eriksson-Ek and Kirill, they're a lot better team. And so I think this Wolves team may have been underseeded as well. But it takes time to gel. It takes a long time.
Well, they finished 1 game behind the Lakers, so when everyone was saying, oh, this would be the Lakers here, I didn't understand.
That is correct. Controversial Vikings news that tend to be brought to my attention. We'll get to that next. Other side of the break. Common Man program on the Fan.
Hey, everybody. So when you get asked, what is Odoo, what comes to mind? Well, I'll tell you. Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a suite of business management software that some people say is like fertilizer because of the way it promotes growth. But, some people also say that Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable.
Ooh. But then again, you could look at Odoo in terms of how its individual software programs are a lot like building blocks. Whatever your business needs, manufacturing, accounting, HR programs, you can build a custom software suite that's perfect for your company. So what is Odoo? Well, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. Yeah, that's it.
Which means that Odoo is exactly what every business needs. Learn more and sign up now at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Now I'd like to introduce you to Meaningful Beauty, the famed skincare brand created by iconic supermodel Cindy Crawford. It's her secret to absolutely gorgeous skin. Meaningful Beauty makes powerful and effective skincare simple, and it's loved by millions of women. It's formulated for all ages and all skin tones and types, and it's designed to work as a complete skincare system, leaving your skin feeling soft, smooth, and nourished. I recommend starting with Cindy's full regimen, which contains all 5 of her best-selling products, including the amazing youth-activating melanin Balance Serum. This next-generation serum has the power of melon leaf stem cell technology. It's melon leaf stem cells encapsulated for freshness and released onto the skin to support a visible reduction in the appearance of wrinkles. With thousands of glowing 5-star reviews, why not give it a try? Subscribe today and you can get the amazing Meaningful Beauty system for just $49.95. That includes our introductory 5-piece system, free gifts, free shipping, and a 60-day money-back guarantee. All of that available at meaningfulbeauty.com.
Come on, why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity with Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance that keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com. Lenovo. Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on what your kids are spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/iHeart.
Protect.
Sorry about that. I had to respond to a bunch of text messages. Why am I like this? Why do I want to get people going? It's an illness. It's a sickness. I've tried to trace it back to my youth. I was never really, though, were you ever a guy in when you were younger that either got teased or bullied or anything like that? See, I wasn't in mine.
No.
I was never, and I suppose when we were, I think back in the olden days, for us boomers, that was kind of part of growing up, though. There were kids that got teased and kids that got bullied. I'm not saying it's right. I think we pay more attention to that now. And I think that's a good thing.
Yes.
There are people that would say, no, you got to be tough and you got to have tough skin and it makes you a better person if you're able to fight off the teasing and the bullying. And I don't necessarily agree with that. Sorry. But my third grade teacher was not very nice to me. I don't know if I want to get into the stories, but there were times she was very mean to me. I don't think she liked me very much. Again, I understand. I was class clownish, and I think I got on her nerves. Can't think about it. But third grade, how old are you? 8?
8, 9, yeah.
Already I was a gadfly at 8 years of age. And I think maybe that's where it all stemmed from. So you handed me this story. It's a NBCSports.com story. And no, it's not Mike Florio. Because Florio's a guy that I think he also likes to get people going, right?
Oh, yeah.
This is a Miles Simmons story. Is today the 21st?
It is.
This is literally just over 15 minutes ago this story popped up. Headline, Kevin O'Connell, then a quote, I think J.J. McCarthy is ready to hit the ground running. Says as the Vikings begin their offseason program this week, they're now positioning 20. Did we start offseason conditioning today?
I believe so,
season
yes.
program? Oh, I didn't realize that. They're now positioning 2024 first-round draft pick J.J. McCarthy to begin the season as their starting quarterback. McCarthy has said he's recovered from the knee injury that kept him sidelined for his entire rookie season. Head coach Kevin O'Connell reiterated that on Monday, telling reporters in his press conference that he's not anticipating any limitations for McCarthy during the spring. O'Connell also praised McCarthy for the work he's done to put himself in a strong position at this point in the year. Here's what O'Connell said. And it's a long quote because that's what Kevin does. For those of us that have listened into his news conferences and his interviews, we know that he likes to, whether he would be able to be entertaining enough to host a 3-hour talk show every day. He certainly talks long enough to do it. He says he's always working. I think the spring is set up perfectly for JJ with where he's at from a standpoint of phase one really being in a classroom setting, running and lifting and continuing what he's been able to do. A lot of his teammates haven't been here. Now the group comes back, he continues that and eventually gets on the field and we can start throwing and catching a little bit before finalizing those 2-3 weeks of OTAs in minicamp where you get a little dabble of the competitive field, running the huddle, running the show. So all of it is going to kind of be systematically planned out for him, and I think he's ready to attack it. Physically, O'Connell noted that McCarthy's been able to make different types of throws that are significant in the offense as he's gone through his rehab. It says, now it's just a matter of applying it with the teammates and with detail and with the repetition to try to apply those reps so we can start projecting what not only he can continue to improve at, what are the areas he needs to focus on? How can we craft this offense to make sure that we're doing the things that he actually does well, doing the things he used to do that made him good, is what he's basically saying. That we're doing the things that he does well naturally while also challenging him to grow that pot of inventory that we can ultimately pull from. Here's another quote that I think is interesting. It says, now it becomes a real, more tangible day in, day out. We can create a world where it might not feel like a checkpoint, it might not feel like another step in the process, but you're stacking so many days and time with his teammates together and just the growth through the installations. And how do these quarterbacks, first with those installations and his absorption of what we're doing. We've got a new center, Ryan Kelly, a veteran, is going to be heavily involved in that aspect with the quarterback center dynamic. And thankfully, we got a lot of really high quality skill players that JJ's already worked with in the past and can thrown and caught with before. So it'll be a matter of what do the X's and O's look like when there's not competitive games? What do the fundamentals and technique look like and when we're really just trying to harness growth? But there's been a lot of time on task, and just once again, want to credit JJ for how he's handled these last 2.5, 3 months or so, and I think he's ready to hit the ground running as of today. So, some high praise for the youngster in his efforts to get back ready in his rehab, first of all, which I think most athletes attack that with a vim and vigor because they want to play, right? And I think most want to get back as soon as they can. We've had some remarkable stories. Who was it Peterson who they said, well, he's going to miss, did they say like 9 to 12 months?
To ACL, yeah.
Yeah, he was back like in 6 months. And so it's like when you, and I don't know if that's all just, maybe some of it is your, what's the word I would be looking for? Your physical makeup, right?
Yeah.
Maybe some guys
built different.
Built different, yes. They're just built different, and you're able to do that. But I think a lot of it's just the work you want to put into it and how much you want to push yourself. It's really no different than, and we'll ask Mark Rosen about this because he works with the Fitness King. And I'm sure Mark can attest to this, I don't know if you've ever worked with a personal trainer before. I have. And
look at me, clearly I haven't.
Yeah. I didn't want to say it. I wanted you to say it first. I'm trying to be a more kindler and gentler common man. But when you're with a personal trainer, if you're going to lift by yourself, you might push it as far as you can go, that's enough. But personal trainer guy will always go, give me 3 more. And you're thinking, I don't want to do 3 more, but he's asking me to do 3 more, so I'll do 3 more, which means you get more out of your workout, right? I'm sure that's what the Fitness King's, matter of fact, the Fitness King probably says to Mark, you're stronger now at 75 than you were at 45. Give me 5 more. And then Mark gives him 5 more. And I'm sure there's a guy like Peterson he's going to push himself to the point where he was ready in a much shorter period of time. And it kind of sounds like maybe that's what's, I don't know if the time frame and timeline has been exactly what you would expect from a torn meniscus, but the quotes that we just read from today from the NBC Sports story says he is on track and he has no limitations as we speak. So, yeah, we had the dalliance with Darnold, where, if I remember this correctly, tend to be before Darnold left via free agency, wasn't the feeling that the Vikings were ready to bring him back, but they were just not ready to do it at $100 million. And if they could have found a comfortable middle for both, they would have brought him back. That's what we're led to believe. Whether that's true or not,
I saw that the offer was 1 year, $25 million.
Yeah. So that's what they were willing to do. And I don't think that means that they're encouraged by McCarthy's rehab or not encouraged by what his body of work has shown them, not only at training camp last year in that one preseason game, but, college and high school and the whole thing. But I think as the team said, and I don't know if it was Kwesi who said it or KOC said it, but when they had this conversation with Rodgers, and make no mistake, they talked with Rodgers. They admitted it. Matter of fact, it was Kwesi that said, well, I kind of let O'Connell do that. I think he didn't have a choice. My guess is Rodgers had no interest in talking to Kwesi, right? That's just, don't you get that feel with Rodgers' personality? It's like, no, I'll talk to the guy I know. I'm tight. High level, long time, I'll talk to Kevin O'Connell. And O'Connell said they talked to him. And I think the coach said something to the effect of, you can't turn a blind eye to anything, right? Anything that you think can make the team better, at least you have to explore it, right? I mean, I would actually be, even if you don't like Rodgers and think he's a cancer and think he's a diva and think he doesn't have anything left, I think you'd be doing a disservice to the organization and the team and to yourself if you didn't at least talk to him, if he is indeed interested. Hey, looking for a team, Kev. How about you and I, old boy? Should we talk about it? Maybe get together? I think I got to talk to you about it. And they did. And I don't know, this story would lead me to believe, and I maybe my gadfly sense that's been tingling, that there's already a handshake agreement between Kevin and because I just don't think Rodgers has any interest in doing OTAs or mini camps, and the coach can't tell him, can't go publicly and say, yeah, we're bringing Aaron Rodgers back, but we're not going to let him do that. But maybe they are. Maybe they have no interest in going in that direction. And they're going to go Kevin O'Connell. They're going to go with J.J. McCarthy full steam ahead as the starting quarterback.
Well, here's the deal. And I think you've mentioned a bunch of this. They reportedly offered Sam Darnold in free agency 1 year, $25 million. Yeah. So they clearly had interest in the short term in bringing him back. There's been rumors of them doing a little flirting with Aaron Rodgers. Story comes out today from Schefter that Vikings Steelers might be in the mix for Kirk Cousins. Right? Daniel Jones is not on Cousins and Rodgers level, but there was obviously interest in bringing Daniel Jones back.
Yes.
So this would all lead me to believe that the Vikings, at least for 2025, are not all in on J.J. McCarthy. Now, they might think,
oh my gosh, you are above average at that.
To keep up the poker term, they might want to, see a flop and maybe got a flush draw on this, get another card on the turn, right?
Yeah.
So they're not writing him off, and I think it's just Kwesi. He's kind of like that. What's the Oakland A's Moneyball? Right?
Oh yeah, Billy Beane.
I think, hey, we'll bring guys in as long as they're within this structure, and none of them have been able to get in that so far. But I mean, how many times do we need to see now that they've had interest in other quarterbacks?
Yeah.
To make you think, hey, I'm guessing they like JJ. If they have to go JJ, they'll be fine.
Right.
but there's still enough doubts short term compared, long term. I think they're in on him.
Yep.
Clearly they're in on him because they didn't sign Sam Darnold for 3-4 years.
Right. So
they have to like JJ McCarthy enough to not re-sign Sam Darnold. But there has to be a little bit of doubt whether it's injury related, whether it's, he's still a young guy who has not played a snap in the National Football League, and we think we can win right now. That I think they've shown enough now where they've flirted with other short-term solutions that they're not all in J.J. McCarthy for 2025.
Which, make no mistake, that's how they feel at the new Winter Park, at the TCO Performance Center, that their window is wide open right now. And not to say that it's only this year and it's going to slam shut. But I don't think you make the moves that they did, they knew they needed to improve the interior of both the offense and defensive lines and the secondary, and they addressed all of those with the boatload of money they had in free agency. And it's particularly the two defensive players. They are both in their 30s, which means they're better days. Maybe not better days, but certainly I would think they have more days behind them in the league than ahead of them. I guess it's possible they could play into their late 30s to 40 years old. I suppose you don't see that often with defensive players, unless it's like Harry the Hitman, where you're talking about secondary guys. And they do have they both had serious injuries last year. So you bring those two guys in. It's not like you say, well, you know what, and they might use draft picks to try to draft interior guys on both sides of the line as well. But it certainly isn't as if they said, you know what, we're just going to keep the lines the way they are right now. We'll try to improve them in the draft and see where we go. They wanted to make improvements now. And when you look at the age, especially those defensive guys, you think maybe it's I want to win, and I want to win now and for the future. And if you feel like, and my guess is they feel like they've done a really good, all these teams like what they've done, right? And I'm sure they're thinking to themselves, we've really put together a good roster here. I'm not saying we'll find out as the season progresses, but they're thinking they have. And then you have to think they have to say, do we want to risk it all on a rookie quarterback that we really don't, as high as we are on him, and I'm quarterback whisperer guy and this and that, do I really believe that he can take us, especially in a competitive division? Detroit's going to be good, and unless these teams fall off the face of the earth, Detroit's going to be good. Green Bay is going to be good, and I believe Chicago is going to be much improved. So you got a tough division. You might want to. You'd be nice to hedge your bets a little bit with a veteran quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Let's take a phone call from Warren. Warren, you're on the fan. You got a minute or two. What do you have?
Yeah, I want to praise Tenna, but in a minute. Tenna, I got something for you to look up quick. Look up David Walker from Central Arkansas, and I'll tell you why it's really important.
What do you think of the common man now? You're having Tenna be...
Well, no, he's very good at what he does now. I want to give Tenna credit.
I don't work for you, Warren.
When he brought Fannin up at tight end, here's the dilemma I'd have. I believe that because I think still trading that pick for that lineman's the way to go. But if I was my next guy, I'd have these three draft choices. Mitchell Evans is the most perfect fit for the Minnesota Vikings. He played at tight end at Notre Dame. He's the perfect fit for the Minnesota Vikings. Out of any player in this draft, he could come in right now and actually start for him.
No
He's
way.
Unbelievable.
No way.
Not start for him, but he could come in and play and make some significant.
Okay,
this guy's unbelievable.
I'll give you that.
Okay, there's another guy, safety, is Keandre Jackson from Illinois State.
Really good player.
He's really good, and he was considered the best defensive back at the Senior Bowl. But he's a big guy. But I'll tell you something about this David Walker.
I thought he was the best player in the Senior Bowl, offense or defense.
But I'm gonna do this. This is a Reed Blankenship type situation.
Who?
When you got the best Reed Blankenship with
right.
He wasn't drafted. He was the best defensive back to come out the year he came out. Wasn't drafted. This David Walker, in my opinion, might be the best player in this whole draft. The reason I say it, I don't say this very often. He's very similar to John Randall when he came out. Same size.
Oh my gosh.
Well, if you take a look at it, if he reads off what this guy did in college, there isn't anybody in the draft that did better in college.
Come on.
And they have him as an outside because he's only 6'1", so they have him as an outside pass rusher. And if they brought him to the inside, this guy is unstoppable. He's tough.
All right.
And he's like Reed Blankenship when he came out of the draft. He was the best defensive back that year.
All right.
And that's the year that Sauce Gardner came out.
Yes.
And if you look at Sauce Gardner, hasn't done all that much in his career. That's the year that they had Trey Woolen
Warren, and
Zion McCollum.
Warren, are you going to want to participate in our mock draft coming up on Thursday?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean,
but hey,
I got to go. I just want to know if you're going to call in Thursday. We'll figure that out.
Yeah, remember that name, David Walker. Those guys unbelievable. And if you look at what he did in college, he's by far and away the best defensive lineman, outside linebacker by far.
Yeah. All right. Thanks. Tenneby, did you look him up?
Well, here's my fear with David Walker. Okay. He doesn't really have the desired body type, doesn't have that height, length that you desire, won't have a definitive positional fit for every scheme.
Yeah, that's what I was worried
He's a little overeager with his hands, which leads to mistimed extension. He needs to activate rush counters earlier against blockers who close space quickly. Sinking his weight in tight quarters and setting a hard edge will be challenging versus NFL power. Faced only 2 Power 4 opponents, Ole Miss, Oklahoma State, in 3 seasons in the FCS. He's also overage. He'll be a 25-year-old rookie.
Yeah. And see, that's why I was going to bring up a couple of those things with Warren, but I didn't want to burst his bubble. He's done a lot of homework. But those are definitely the concerns I had, and it sounds like you do as well, and why you don't have him as part of Purple Prey. Or will you?
According to Dame Brugler on the Beast, he's 21st ranked edge rusher. Warren said he was the best player in the draft.
Purple Prey, purple. What's this guy's name again?
David
Walker.
David Walker.
David Walker.
Central Arkansas.
Central Arkansas State, best player in the Pro Bowl, Senior Bowl.
6'1", 260. He was a 6-year senior. He's like Parker Fox in football.
Tenneby, be the gadfly all you want. Just keep that name in the back of your mind.
Best player in the draft, according to Warren.
Just keep that name in the back of your mind. That was fun today. Tomorrow, do we have a programming predicament tomorrow?
By the way, he said he was going to compliment me, and then he never did compliment me.
Do we have a programming predicament tomorrow?
We got Wolves, and what time is the Wolves game at?
That's 9, I think.
Wow, they're at 10.
And then you and I are going to play golf Wednesday morning. Yeah. I think I'm going to bed early. I'm going to miss both games. I'll just read the recap and pretend I saw it. Why not? It's worked before. Hey, Tenneby, thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
You as well. We enjoyed our visit. Thanks for being with us. We're back tomorrow 12 noon. Stick around. Big Ticket, JG. They are next, right here on the Fan.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Minnesota!
And good night, folks. And good night, Mrs. Calabash. Wherever you are.
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.
For some of us, personal finances aren't just personal. They include a lot more people than ourselves. Loved ones, neighbors, the communities we call home, and the causes we hold in our hearts. At Thrivent, we help plan your financial picture with the bigger picture in mind. Because even though our business is helping guide your finances, our ambition is to make it mean so much more. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.
Some people say that Odoo business management software is like fertilizer, the way it promotes growth and all. But other people say Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable. And there's some people who would even say Odoo's individual software programs come together to build the perfect suite like building blocks. Well, Odoo is all of these things. Fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. So sign up now at odoo.com, ODOO.com.
Come on, why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity. With Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance that keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com.
Lenovo.
Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
Have you ever wondered what it would be like to have supervision, enhanced hearing, extraordinary reflexes, to be, dare we say, superhuman? Well, Roku's new Pro Series TV can't do any of that for you. But with a 4K screen, side-firing speakers, and a blazing fast refresh rate, it'll sure feel like it. Elevate your entertainment using all your favorite apps like iHeart and play all your music, radio, and podcasts with the new Roku Pro Series. Your senses aren't better. Your TV is.